Abort, abort. Oh. gosh.
Yesterday started out so good. Today's just going the other way. So
Real quick too.
I know. It's like,
Lightning speed.
I was really crazy. It was Monday and everything went really good yesterday and that never happens, but balance, right?
Okay, so if you didn't know, we are recording and being live streamed whenever you are ready, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I have 9 o'clock at this time. I'd like to call to order the Isabel County Board of Commissioners, Criminal Justice County Affairs Committee. First up, we have an approval of the agenda. Do we have any change in the agenda items as presented?
I have none, Chair.
Okay, seeing none, we'll proceed to the next item, which is a call to the public. I see no physically, well, I do see someone physically in the room, but would you like to comment publicly?
No, thank you.
Oh, there you go. I told you, this is one of those days today. Is everybody online or on the phone? Okay, at this time, I'll close, call to the public. There will be another opportunity at the end of the meeting to make comments, so. Okay, first up, we got consider approving the payment to the Motorola Solutions Inc. in the amount of $439,746.80 for the Michigan Public Safety Communication System, the MPSCS Tower and Equipment Project. And I see we don't have the sheriff, so
Correct.
Cole would like to go on. We've seen this for quite a while now, and this is part of a process that's going to be proceeding, so.
That's exactly right, sir. I know, Mark, please jump in too if you want to add any detail, but basically we have been talking about this for a while. The whole cost is going to be paid by the state, quite a communications enhancement for us. But we're doing all the legwork on it and we've got to spend the money first. And so this is Sheriff bringing a request forward to expense the first 10% of the project. So it is in the amount of almost $440,000 for the first 10% of the project. But Sheriff's got a system set up. We're using the dollar cost of the shelter to test the reimbursement system. There's a state reporting system basically that once we make this payment, we'll send proof of payment to the state and obviously, that generates the reimbursement. They're not as quick as the feds, as it turns out. USDA reimbursements are coming back really quick within a matter of few days on the jail project, but the state will probably be about 2 weeks lag in the reimbursement. So we will be meeting with the treasurer's office to make sure that cash is available, that investment rates are going up. Right, but when we need cash available, we need to make it liquid and not invest it. So treasurer's office is really good to work on us with us on that. Mark, do you want to say anything about the project or the phases or anything like that?
This is routine in the project, the first 10% after we've had the kickoff meeting. And like you said, the sheriff has been told what the process will be for reimbursement. And this will be a great test of the process to see how quickly we actually get reimbursement. And then it will continue through probably the next 18 to 24 months of the project as we get going. The antenna is going to be placed at the Central Dispatch Center towards the east side where the old daycare playground used to be. And then they will use some more of the green space going between the state police and the dental hygiene clinic there in between all that area at that point.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah, I do like what the sheriff mentioned, that he's going to be testing before we go further in the project to make sure everything works. And so we have a little bit of leverage to make sure everything is the way it's promised. So that's a good thing, because like I said, it's going to be a process. It's going to take a while, but
I'm glad he's taking care of that quality control stuff along the way and that he's so engaged in the whole project.
so
A lot more thoughtful.
Yes.
Right.
I don't have any questions. I think we've been talking about this for quite a while. It'd be nice to get going on it, just like the other projects we got going. It's kind of nice.
Yes, it is.
Even
There we
though-
go.
Yeah.
I would have just hoped we had our dollar back by now. That would have given me confidence.
I know.
But I'll make a motion here. I move to consider approving the payment to Motorola Solutions Incorporated in the amount of $439,746.80 for the Michigan Public Safety Commission System Tower and Equipment Project to move forward to the Board of Commissioners meeting.
Okay, I will support that. It's been moved and supported. Is there more discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll proceed to the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. That's passed unanimously, and we'll move this forward to the work session. So next up on the agenda is consider approving the submission of the fiscal year 2024 Michigan Indigent Defense Commission, the MIDC compliance plan application. And we have Public Defender Hausman here to go through the plan.
Morning. I'm
Good
sitting
morning.
over
Good
there.
morning.
Oh, no, you don't get it in camera. if you sit over-
I know, that's something I like it. Well, here we are, another year. The application for the MIDC grant is due here at the end of April on April 27th. I've done a draft of the compliance plan that's included. The biggest change for this year, as we've discussed a couple months ago, is the implementation of Standard 8. It was passed in October. Going forward, our application has to include our compliance with Standard 8. And so a couple months ago, we were here with the proposed wage scales for those salaried positions. But MIDC has also bumped up those hourly rates, which was something I wasn't aware of at the time 2 months ago when we were here. And so what they have done, those hourly rates for our contract attorneys have largely remained unchanged since the implementation of those standards. It was the $100 an hour, $110 an hour, and $120 an hour. So $100 an hour for misdemeanors, $110 an hour for felonies, and $120 an hour for life defense. Because those hadn't changed since the original standards back in 2017, they raised those and then also included a 2% COLA increase. So what they raised to is $118.21 an hour for misdemeanors, $130.03 an hour for felonies, and $141.82 an hour for life offense felonies. Now, when we had our grant planning meeting with our regional administrator, Barb Klimaszewski, she indicated to me that most counties were actually rounding those numbers up for accounting purposes and making them 120, 135, and 150. So our proposal is going to be to round those up. Those don't include the 2% COLA increases, so it's actually 122.40, which kind of screws up the ease of accounting argument, but that's what Ms. Whitmer's for. 122.40, 137.70 an hour, and 153 an hour. It also wouldn't raise the hourly rate for our MAC administrator who takes care of the contract from the $100 an hour to 120 an hour. So that's the biggest change. And so, you know, I think we've got a good grasp on it at this point. When we were first told that these were being changed, part of what the numbers in terms of case wise we were told to go back to was to go back to 2019 case filing numbers. Because MIDC the past couple of years, we've been putting more money into that contractual services line item because of a COVID backlog of cases. And what MIDC is finding is that really wasn't taking place. And so when we had our grant planning meeting, they said, go back and look at 2019 for your numbers.
So the backlog wasn't taking
Correct.
place? Okay.
And that's just kind of a statewide thing. They were pumping money in there thinking like a lot more trials were going to be taking place, but things are getting resolved instead of going to trial. And so there are cases that are backlogged. They're just not necessarily going to trial. So they're not, you're not spending $135 an hour on a felony trial that's going to last a week because it's getting resolved. So they're kind of telling us, look at your 2019 numbers for your comparables for your case filing numbers going forward this year. So, and it's roughly the same. You know, we received our 3-month numbers from January to now, just this week. And so, I mean, it's comparable, but it's fitting those numbers into where do they fall in between a nice happy place of 2019, 20, 21, 22? Where can we gauge where we need to have that line item at? And that's the biggest change. Everything else is kind of status quo. And then obviously the biggest thing is local share. I included that in there. It's
140,000,
correct. We're 240,000.
306.
$240,306.09. And I believe last year was 238. I don't have the number off the top of my head, but 238 and change. So it's an increase of I think it's 2.5%
No.
is what it equals out to.
Do you have much contact with the grant people?
I would say so.
Are you getting a feeling that I know one of our major fears have been, because especially with the new implications, that the amount of increase is are they gonna start cutting back or being a little more specific when, yeah, so far we've been lucky with getting what we've applied for, but
You know, in the biggest, I think that's where that going back to 2019 came from, is when we had our grant planning meeting. It was one of the questions that I was asked was how much have we spent of our contractual services line item? And of course, this was back in March. So at that point, we hadn't spent, we're only 4 months, 5 months into our fiscal year. So it's kind of, well, we've only spent 40%. Well, you should be closer to 50. Well, we haven't hit that 6-month period yet. So it's hard to project when we're
then you had
doing it in April.
staffing issues.
Exactly. And so, and on that front, I actually do have a couple more people joining the contract. So
Well
we're in
Great.
we're in a good spot on that end. So
Those
well,
rates, huh?
I don't know what it is, but I have
Not like a gift horse.
I
Doesn't matter.
It's good.
one person just joined in the past month or so, and then I have 2 more in the hopper, so to speak, that kind of reaching out to them and seeing. So that'll be nice.
So are you fully staffed now?
Yes. Yep.
Great.
Yep. They increased the budget request for MIDC overall increased. I know we brought it up last time we were here. I think it was an increase of 78 million. I know we brought it up last time we were here and I didn't write it down.
Yes, it
It was
was.
an overall large
Yeah.
increase and
Like
because
70.
70 something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because of standard 8, because those hourly rates are going up. That's a big chunk of it.
I think you get more counties going with the public defender model and what they were trying to get by with some of the old compliance issues, that it just wasn't working.
Yeah, and I know, like I said before, I know a lot of our neighboring counties have kind of debated going that way. I know Shiawassee reached out to me, Claire and Gladwin were thinking about doing it. Midland was thinking about doing it. I don't think that's going to happen at this point, but so I know a lot of other counties are
I know,
looking at this as a model.
when we first started looking at it, I said, no way, we're gonna go that way. As we got into the thing, it just seemed like the way to go. But initially, at first I said, well, that's gonna be too much. It said, but the longer you studied it, this seemed to be the right way to go, but
We'll see new revised contract then here come up for the
Well, it would fall in line with the fiscal year. So when we redo the contract in September for October,
Oh,
we
okay.
include those hourly rates.
Oh, it's okay. So these hourly rates won't.
For October, yeah, starting for
October.
fiscal year 24. I mean, we certainly could jump
Right.
ahead of the guy. I don't.
I apologize. I always jump back and forth between fiscal years.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, this includes moving to more like the social worker versus the investigator position? Or 24?
That's, yes, I'm still waiting on where that would fall on
Okay.
the scale,
Okay.
but that's
That's the
ultimately what I
intention.
would like to include in our compliance plan.
Okay.
Is the implementation of a social worker into our office.
That would be great. Yeah.
I do appreciate you trying to stay ahead of the new changes that seems to be going on. It seems to be changing the rules constantly, so, I do appreciate trying to be ahead of the curve instead of behind it, so
I
that's,
appreciate it.
I'm glad that you're keeping updated.
Talking to Paul Loria with Director of the Mount Pleasant Police. Their counselor, social worker program has been highly successful, and know that their officers have commented and recognized value that they've added at that level. So you know, I'm all in favor of moving forward with that, and you know.
And it's something
Good
I
support.
haven't included in our draft yet, just because I was waiting on that additional information, but it's something that, you know, we have so many outside partner agencies that we work with, whether they're inpatient facilities, community mental health, restoration house, all those things, that it would be beneficial to have that person that can form those relationships outside of our office to be able to get those services for people. You know, I tell people all the time, people I represent, I say, I like you. I don't want to see you again. You know,
Yeah.
so I want them to get that help so that
Yeah.
they're not a recurrent customer.
Right,
And I think we all want that. It's
Yeah.
definitely.
best for everyone. Yeah. Yep. Any way we can get there is.
I did get the information, thank you,
Okay.
on the social worker, so I know we still need to finalize that. Sorry if I got out ahead in front of it, but clearly
No.
supported, clearly supported.
Okay, so any more questions?
No, I'll make a motion to bring forward consideration for approving the submission of the fiscal year 2024 Michigan Indigent Defense Commission compliance plan application to the Board of Commissioners meeting.
And I will support that. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The motion has passed. We will move that forward to the work session, and thank you.
Thanks.
Good luck on getting everything that we applied for, so.
Yeah.
Yes, the best, we wish you the best. of luck.
Yes.
I'm always curious to see exactly that they accept everything.
They're all right.
Yes. Okay, next up, I believe we still have Director Griffiths with us. He hasn't departed, so next up, we have consider approving the Equiture Premium Partner Program Agreement for a 5-year period in the total amount of $108,438.15 and authorize the board chair to sign the same. Director Griffiths, you have the floor.
Yep, this is the machine that records our phones and our radios. It's part of the normal planning for our budget to contract for this service. Now with our new radio system, new console, this brings the capabilities to record the new features that it has. I spoke with the finance director, Melissa Franquist, and asked her about the concept of what way to pay. And the recommendation is to pay over the 5-year contract of time, totaling the $108,438.15. Do you have any questions?
This is part of the 5-year contract agreement, so that price is all set for 5 years.
Correct, spread out over the 5 years.
No, pretty standard. I don't have any questions. Steve?
Nope, it looks like you're happy with this company, so 15 years with Equiture, right?
Yes. Yep.
Good to see you. All right, I can make a motion if we can move this on. All right.
Yeah.
Move to bring forward the consideration approving the Equiture Premier Partner Program Agreement for a 5-year period in total amount of $108,438.15 for the board chair to sign.
And I will support that. Is there any more discussion on that? We will vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, aye, the same. Motion has passed. We'll move this forward to the work session. Last item up on our agenda is consider approving the amendment number 1 as of March 23rd, 2023 to the software license agreement dated December 6th, 2022 between TAC 10 Inc. and Isabel County Central Dispatch 911 and authorize board chair to sign the same.
So on this one, gentlemen, this is just a standard part of our new CAD project that we're putting in, the computer aided dispatch. This amendment states that we'll follow the FBI Criminal Justice Information Service policies. We have to do that anyways as part of our agreement with the state and the feds to be able to run the people we check in the computer system for traffic stops and such. So this is really just an amendment to the contract that had to come back to the board because the original contract was signed by the board chairperson. So just part of normal business, making sure we follow the rules.
It doesn't cost us anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost you anything.
I like when you come to us, director, and not ask for any money, so it's like, good.
Take note.
Absolutely.
I have no questions. I think, thank you for staying online with us for.
Absolutely.
Motion to bring forward the consideration of approving amendment number 1 as of March 23rd, 2023 to the software license agreement dated December 6th, 2022 between TAC 10 Incorporated and Isabella County Central Dispatch 911 for the Board of Commissioners meeting.
I will support that. Any more discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The motion has passed and we'll move this forward to the work session. Thank you, Director.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thanks, Mark, you too.
Okay, we have any announcements?
I have just a couple. We have our special goal setting meeting tomorrow at 2 p.m. upstairs in room 320, open to the public. And then I just learned that the MRF ad hoc committee will have their first meeting this Friday at 10:30, right here. So looking forward to that.
Okay. I guess the only announcements I got is it's tree week, and if Friday when we distribute, they always have a few extras. So if you're in a mood to see what's out there, take a look and see what's left over. They usually get some discounts. So any more announcements? Seeing none, I will do a call to the public. I do not see any hands raised behind me physically. Is there anybody online or
There is not at this time.
on the phone? Okay, I will close call to the public and I will call this meeting ended. Thank you.
Thanks.